Here indeed. It's been a great weekend, and it'll be Julia Kane getting it started off for the Boilermakers.
Kane's having a solid year this year, already 29 aces behind that service line.
And Iowa gets the first point. It will be Sharday Van Zant for the Hawkeyes, 1-0 Iowa.
Say her name and she will appear. Van Zant, a name that you're going to need to hear a lot tonight if the Iowa Hawkeyes want to be successful.
Is indeed our player to watch in this matchup. Iowa able to get the ball back over. It is Hannah Whittingstall, another tall matchup for the Boilermakers here tonight. Iowa, 2 quick points.
Yeah, Whittingstall, the 6'2 junior from San Antonio, Texas, the transfer of SMU, is trying to do her best to clog things up in the middle there for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, it really was the serve by Sashka Stojanovic that made it difficult for the Boilermakers on that one. Nonetheless, Iowa able to send it back over. The set by Anderson. And Woolard's kill attempt blocked by Iowa. Iowa getting rolling here, starting off 3 quick points.
Yeah, Carol Rivera's there with the block, the solo block, and all smiles as she puts that one on the floor and giving the Hawkeyes an early 3-0 advantage.
Yeah, it is indeed. They've kind of gotten it going. Block party's still loud for the Boilermakers, though. McAleer digs it up. Woolard on the left side, quick touch. Iowa sends it back, blocked by Lulich and Woolard. That's a combo that we'll see here tonight. We talked a little bit about the defense of Iowa, but the Boilermakers defense showing up here to get them on the board.
Yeah, and the Boilermaker block has been engaged here during this last 7-game run. You see it right there in front of you. Lulich using that 6'5 size to her advantage.
It's Sienna Foster that serves it up for the Boilermakers.
Foster had herself a good night last night against Penn State, 2 of the Boilermaker 5 aces.
She's been hot indeed. Boilermaker point on that one. Purdue with quick back-to-back points as they claw within one. Sienna Foster, though, you talked about it a little bit. She's had 4 consecutive matches now with an ace, but 2 last night in that big matchup against Penn State. And kind of right on cue, Foster picks up another ace. It's now 5 consecutive matches for Sienna Foster, the serve specialist from Lafayette, Indiana, the hometown native.
Yeah, and that's something Dave Shondell has utilized over the last couple of seasons, is bringing in some local talent. A couple players on this roster from West Lafayette. A tough break there is that one sails a little bit long.
Yeah, Foster will be subbed out now. As we see McAleer back in the lineup. McAleer's been a bright spot for the Boilermakers that we saw a little bit of last year, but she's really kind of taken her own role this year.
Yeah, and she's come into her own. Had a little bit of an injury bug in the offseason, but she was able to recover from that. And she's been doing an incredible job defensively for the Boilermakers this season.
It is indeed. Just as we saw a service error for the Boilermakers, we see one for the Hawkeyes. Craig, block party may be having a factor in that one. They're loud and they're clear.
Well, it definitely wouldn't be the first time or the last, but definitely an advantage for the Purdue Boilermakers.
Taylor Anderson sends it over for the Boilermakers. Iowa able to find that back line. Point Hawkeyes. Hannah Whittingstall going up. We talked about it a little bit. She leads the team in blocks with 111 on the season, but you can see with that offensive side right there.
Yeah, leads the team in blocks, but leading the team early on here in kills. She's 2 for 2 now.
2 for 2 in kills, in Iowa with another service ace. It's Sharday Van Zant, the native of Houston, Texas. Leads team in points, her now 20th ace on the season.
And Van Zant, normally known for her game-winning kills and blocks, but doing it behind the service line here early on.
Grace Heaney on that right side. Grace Heaney, I mean, we talked about Woolard really coming to her own. Heaney really coming to her own in this one.
Yeah, the reigning Big Ten Player of the Week, last week the Big Ten Player of the Week is Grace Heaney. Had 10 kills, a service ace, and an assist last night against Penn State. She's been a bright spot on that opposite side.
Has indeed. Anderson with the set, blocked by the Hawkeyes. Dior Charles went up, but Whittingstall still leading the team in blocks, doing a nice job for that defensive effort for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, Whittingstall early on here says, grab onto the cape and hold on. She's doing it all here for the Hawkeyes early on.
Morzio sends it over for the Hawkeyes. Van Zant tries it, blocked by Charles. And now blocked by Heaney. Grace Heaney on that right side. We saw her swing. We see her block now.
Grace Heaney has been such a benefit for this Purdue Boilermaker team this season. Most teams come onto the floor looking to focus their energy on Kenna Woolard, and you forget about Heaney, and she reminds you not to.
Does indeed. McAleer sends it over. And ball goes out of bounds. Point Purdue. So we find ourselves, as Iowa kind of got onto a little bit of a roll early on, Boilermakers able to scratch back even now, 7-7.
I think Cash Anderson was the most surprised about that. She thought she might have had a little touch there, but the Boilers will take it here.
Hey, she didn't say anything. She's honest, but we'll see. This one comes over right to the booth, but it will be point Iowa as they slam one off the Boilermakers defender.
0 for 1, Mark. Gotta grab those, my friend.
0 for 1. I tried to grab it, but my short arms couldn't quite get there, Craig. Cash Anderson on that left side, and Cash Anderson take it to the bank. Cash Anderson now with her first kill of the match.
Yeah, and Anderson normally coming in closing situations towards the ends of sets, but Dave Shondell giving her some time, especially after the performance last night against the Nittany Lions. 10 kills and 3 blocks for Anderson.
Yeah, Cash Anderson's just been kind of not as much of a feature for the Boilermakers, just like Grace Heaney. Woolard gets more of that spotlight. But it will be the Hawkeyes defense that gets the spotlight here. Alyssa Warden with the block.
And the redshirt sophomore from the land of Lincoln, Bartlett High School.
And Warden sends it over, but sends it out of bounds. Another service error for the Hawkeyes, their second of the match.
And we haven't really talked about this yet, but errors. And the errors piled up last night for the Nittany Lions. And if the Hawkeyes want to try to stay in this matchup and try to knock off the number 9 team in the country, they're going to have to limit the errors and be more efficient with the way they have the ball.
100%. They're going to have to play flawless if they want to beat Purdue here tonight. Flawless here, their first to 10 is the Hawkeyes. Hawkeyes have looked strong here early on, though. If they can get to 5 sets, that's something they've done very commonly throughout this year. They're 3-8 in those matches, but nonetheless, they're a pretty seasoned team with the amount of sets they've played.
That's just an insane number to think about. You're going 11 times throughout a season, and the season's not even over with yet.
I mean, it's got to be exhausting if I'm thinking about it. Julia Kane sends this one almost off the roof, but it's Woolard that sends it back over for the Boilermakers. Van Zant for the Hawkeyes. Nice dig by McAleer. Iowa gets it back to Van Zant, blocked by the Boilers. Van Zant, third time's a charm, not able to get it done. And point Purdue as Holloway is on their feet as the Boilermakers pick up a much-needed win on that one.
Long rally, both teams hanging in there. That rally can be attributed to right there in the foreground. You see Julia Kane and Ryan McAleer both in that back row playing defensively out of their minds here early on, keeping the ball off the floor for the Purdue Boilermakers.
Yeah, nice job. Ball almost went off the roof on that one, off of Kane, but Boilermakers able to stay with it. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll be another point for Purdue as they find a lead now.
Yeah, partner, that's one of the fun aspects of volleyball is as long as it falls off of the roof in fair territory, you continue playing it. A couple seasons ago, I saw a ball go up into the ceiling, bounce off the scaffolding up there, and then the ball kept in play.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, hey, if it's in play, but kind of if it goes off the roof, it can kind of go anywhere. So Boilermakers doing a nice job kind of staying with it. The service error on that one by Foster gives the ball back to the Hawkeyes. It'll be Jamie Mark Ward serving it up. Nice dig by Kane. And Dior Charles with the kill, the signature kill for Charles. Does a nice job going on this one. Her first kill of the match.
Yeah, the junior middle block transfer from Wake Forest last season has spent a little bit of time on the DL here in the middle of the season, but she is a talent that Dave Shondell needs out on the floor, both with her size and athleticism in the middle.
Whittingstall goes up and sends it off the floor for the Hawkeyes. Both teams kind of going back and forth in this one. No team really kind of taking the lead. It's been a tough first set, and a tough first set for the Hawkeyes. I mean, as the block party is right in their face with Van Zant. Anderson sets it up to Heaney. Blocked by the Hawkeyes. Back to Heaney. And the Hawkeyes able, Anderson not able to get to that one. It'll be point Hawkeyes. Nice job by both sides kind of staying with that one.
Yeah, and we've seen a couple of nice long rallies here early on here in this one. Again, a feeling out process in set number one.
Yeah, feeling out indeed. It'll be Van Zandt back behind that service line and another service error for the Hawkeyes. Their third of the match. Greg, you talked about it. If the Hawkeyes want to win here today, they're going to have to play flawless, kind of shooting themselves in the foot here.
Yeah, you don't want to give the ball back to Purdue, both the momentum or the ball. And the Hawkeyes are struggling early on here behind the service line.
A big swing for Warden on that one. Blocked by the Boilermakers, but goes out of bounds as Alyssa Warden gets another point for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, Warden with an absolute missile, sending that one into the seats.
I mean, even just seeing her springing up for that one, you could see the power that you saw on it.
Violent intent, you can see it all the way.
Talk about violent intent. It's Cash Anderson on the left side, her second kill of the match.
And Anderson has been so good for the Purdue Boilermakers since transferring from Michigan State. And made a couple of stops along the way, but has found a nice home here in West Lafayette.
Has indeed. McAleer serves it up for the Boilermakers. She's been another person that's found a nice home for the Boilermakers, and it's Van Zandt for the Hawkeyes sends us to a
season again. You talked about early on the 11 5-set matches, and we're talking a couple of balls going one way or the other. And the Hawkeyes have a different record next to their name this season, so they're a very capable team. They need to keep going here as they've started playing really well early on. Again, a little concerned about the service errors, but if the Hawkeyes keep playing the way and hit the ball that they are, they're having a good game.
Well, indeed. It's Cash Anderson again on that left side, finds the open floor. Cash Anderson, third kill of the match.
Yeah, and that's what you want out of the timeout if you're Dave Shondell, and Cash Anderson responds, tying this one up here at 15.
It'll be Grace Heaney serving it for the Boilermakers. A tough serve and a service ace for Grace Heaney. Kind of going off the Iowa Hawkeyes. It's Heaney's another ace for the Boilermakers.
First ace of the matchup here tonight. Heaney had one last night, a all-around player for the Purdue Boilermakers.
Hawkeyes go back to winning stall, and it'll be off the Boilermakers and out of bounds. Point Iowa.
Yeah, Wingstall really leading by example here. 4 kills on 5 swings. Does a nice job tooling that one off the block of Taylor Anderson.
And it's Lulich for the Boilermakers with the kill. Lulich, another player for the Boilermakers. It's kind of one of those features for the Boilermakers offensive lineup.
Yeah, Lulich, 6'5", redshirt sophomore from San Diego, California. And you see there, she is lethal on the slide with the length and the hand speed.
Julia Kane serving it up for the Boilermakers. Iowa going to Barres, and it'll be Iowa kind of trading blows back and forth with the Boilermakers.
And that's how last night's game against Penn State was. You caught that one on Big Ten Plus. But both of these teams going back and forth, trying to figure each other out. No one really getting the upper hand here in set number 1.
Yeah, nice job by Ammeraal on that one too. Kind of could have gone either way. Free ball for the Boilermakers to Woolard. Dug out by the Hawkeyes. And it's Varez with the kill off Woolard. Carmel Varez kind of getting a couple kills strung together now for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yeah, Lulich was a little bit behind there, couldn't get the Boiler block engaged, and Hawkeyes made him pay there.
Anderson sets it up to Woolard. Blocked by Iowa, but out of bounds. Point Purdue. Both teams looking to be first to 20 in this one as a back and forth set number 1.
And very important to get into that red zone first. Give yourself that extra advantage. Play to 25, win by 2.
Varez with the kill. Too much for the Boilermakers. Carmel Varez will get subbed out now, but a couple back-to-back kills.
5 kills on 11 swings here early on for Varez, and she's really playing well for the Hawkeyes. A name that we haven't heard in a little bit, though. Iowa's going to need to start feeding the ball to. She's not even on the floor right now. Sharday Van Zandt, excuse me. There she is, hiding behind the middle there. But Van Zandt, a name we haven't heard in a couple of minutes.
Point Purdue as they send it back over, finds the open space. Boilermakers and Hawkeyes trying to be the first to that red zone. It'll be Taylor Anderson serving it up for the Boilermakers.
Anderson, most well known for serving up kills, her assists. But man, she has been so good for the Purdue Boilermakers the last couple of seasons at that net.
Van Zandt with the swing. Back to Woolard. Woolard trying to get it off the floor, but finds the net, kind of holds up on that one. Iowa first in the red zone.
Yeah, Woolard tried to go with the trademark Woolard push there. Just missed it, hit the tape there.
It'll be Van Zandt. She leads the team in points and finds an ace in this one. Coming into today, had 19 aces. Now, it hasn't been so much success, but again, if it's not showing up in the winning column, you kind of see it on the court here throughout for these ladies. They've done a nice job holding their own against a tough ranked opponent. Van Zandt, the leader of this Hawkeyes offense, serves it up for them. Anderson going to Heaney. Heaney hits it off the Hawkeyes defender. Point Purdue as they try to claw back in this one.
Yeah, and I'm guessing Jimmy Marquardt would like to have that one back, as that one looked like it might have sailed a little long out of the hands of Heaney.
We talked about Van Zandt, and it'll be Woolard, the heartbeat of the Boilermakers offense, serving it up. Big swing by Warden, but blocked at the net by the Boilermakers. Block party getting on their feet earlier this season. They've seen a lot of success at their helm, and I mean, you talk about a tough Big Ten schedule, but this is the best start to Big Ten play ever in the Shondell era.
I really think Dave Shondell is making a case right now for National Coach of the Year. Again, 85% of Purdue's offense either left or graduated after last season, and for Dave Shondell to be having arguably what is probably the best season, his Peace Day Resistance here in West Lafayette in his 23rd year, he's really making a push for National Coach of the Year.
Yeah, he is indeed. We talked about Woolard, one of the semifinalists for National Player of the Year. Shondell doing his own. Again, a new look team. Point Purdue as Rachel Williams picks up her first service ace on this one. Boilermakers find themselves 1 point ahead, 22-21.
Yeah, and that feels even better. Hometown kid Rachel Williams. Her dad is an SID here, an athletic director here at Purdue. Somewhere watching his daughter do some work. Some more work on the outside there. Looks like that one might have sailed long.
Yeah, big swing by Warden on this one, but does sail long, as it'll still be Point Purdue. We take a look at it. Just too far. Warden's had some big swings. She's just going to have to kind of keep it in control for the Hawkeyes. There's no doubt about her ability.
Jim Barnes says, not so fast, my friend. I'm guessing there was a touch there. Coach Barnes is trying to challenge whether or not the ball was in or out. Excuse me.
Yeah, it did look like there might have been a Boilermaker that got a hand on that, whether it was McAleer earlier on for the Boilermakers. I know the line judge kind of took a second to call that one, so right challenge by Barnes here, again, as we're so close.
No touch. Ooh, man, that's close. What a great shot there by our Big Ten Plus camera crew.
Great shot indeed. It does look like he does have a case for this one to potentially be in, even with Holloway on their feet trying to let it be.
I'm not quite sure, though. It looked like, it's a little bit of a visual, messing with your eyes a little bit. It looks like that one might have sailed just past the line. The closest point to not touching the line you can get.
100%. You also got to go back with the call on the floor for this one. Call was Point Purdue. The ball was out by the swing by Warden. So we'll see if it stays that way, but it is a pivotal point in this one as the Hawkeyes playing a lot closer than some might have expected. And it does look like I can see a little bit of a gap between black, in between the ball and the line. So I think Barnes has a case, but I think it will stay on this one.
Barnes cashing in there and reversing the call, so the ball did touch the line, partner.
Yeah, so just as I thought I saw a little bit of black between the line and the ball. It will be Point Iowa. So we find ourselves knotted up at 22. It'll be Milana Moisio serving it up. 8 aces on the season coming in this one to 12 service errors for the native of Waukegan, Illinois. Cash Anderson with the teardrop swing. It'll be Warden. Too much, too far. Point Purdue. Warden with a tough swing, but just out of bounds for the Hawkeyes. So if we say ball don't lie, it is Purdue 23, Iowa 22. McAleer will serve it up for the Boilermakers. And blocked by Cash Anderson at the net. She dunks it up.
25-22 victory here against the Hawkeyes in set number 1.
Yeah, definitely. Boilermakers find themselves 1 point away. Hawkeyes have hung in this one, and it has been the service errors a little bit. 3 on this one for Iowa. They kind of found their momentum early on, was kind of back and forth, but it seems like Purdue, 1 point away, Holloway's on their feet.
Well, simple subtraction if you take the 3 service errors away. Granted, not knowing how those points would have played out, but it's 22-21 right now, and Iowa's still in this one instead of facing down set 1 point.
McAleer serves it up for the Boilermakers. It'll be Van Zandt for the Hawkeyes. Back to Anderson. Anderson with the kill. Cash Anderson, kill number 4. Set 1 Purdue.
Where Iowa is looking to get to.
Yeah, and I was going to have to figure something out. They hit 167 in that first set. 14 kills, but not the most efficient. Versus the Boilermakers 250. Iowa will go to Varez. And it's Van Zandt that taps it over for the Hawkeyes. Iowa, just like set 1, able to be first one on the board.
Yeah, nice job there. That one gets caromed around a little bit. Van Zandt smartly just tooling that one off of Grace Heaney.
Heaney with the dig. Iowa able to keep it up. Nice job. Varez, another swing. Is set back to Varez. And Varez with the kill. Iowa with 2 quick points now in set number 2. Something they saw in set 1.
Yeah, quick start, but it's consistency that's key, and Iowa needs to keep this pace up consistently for this set.
Service ace for Alyssa Warden. 17 aces coming into today versus 22 errors. But Warden, we've seen a look at some of her swings at the net, doing a nice job getting it done for the Hawkeyes behind the service line. Iowa keeps it alive. Goes to Varez. The set to Anderson. Anderson with the kill. Cash Anderson closed set number 1 and gets the Boilermakers on the board in set number 2.
Absolute sniper is Cash Anderson, and she is locked in over these last couple of weeks. You saw it right there. Choosing to go cross court and finding some real estate over there.
Julia Kane leads the Boilermakers in service aces, but it's the Hawkeyes that pick up and get another point on the board. Sashka Stojanovic.
Stojanovic, 2 kills now. Heard her name early on in set number 1. Is she going to be the one that helps Iowa get up the mountain?
Stojanovic with the service ace. 12 aces coming into today's match. He picks up number 13. So we saw a little bit of the Hawkeyes errors in set number 1. Hawkeyes getting a couple aces now. Anderson to Woolard. Iowa able to dig it up. Warden. Woolard again. Hawkeyes say no, no, no. Kenna Woolard denied at the net. Iowa, 3rd in the Big Ten in terms of blocks, showing why they are a defensive team.
You hear that?
With the block party loud on their feet.
Stojanovic has been the catalyst here early on in set number 2. Gets the kill, and then heads back behind the service line and spent a couple of swings back there looking for another.
Yeah, had an ace a couple points ago. Not an ace on this one, as it'll be Lulich with the attempt, but out of bounds for the Boilermakers. Another point to Iowa.
4-0 scoring run now for the Hawkeyes, and they will definitely take it. Boilermakers, we talked about Iowa struggling with consistency in set number 1. Purdue a dismal start here in set number 2.
Yeah, just not able to get anything going for the Boilermakers. But Kina Woolard, the bread and butter. Woolard kind of finding her own. She was quiet in set 1, able to get a kill here. Too much for the Hawkeyes defense.
Yeah, those are the kind of kills that you really like, the overpasses, if you will, or the balls that come back to your side and go out of play.
Hannah Whittingstall with the quick set from Ammeraal.
Whittingstall with 4 kills now, and you see here, a little mini slide, but able to finish it off, and nobody's going to pick that one up.
No one indeed able to get around the defense of Dior Charles. Mark Ward behind the service line. 24 aces, leads the team. She picks up another one here. Her first one of the match. 25 now on the season for Mark Ward.
Well, the rich get richer here as the Hawkeyes have seemingly figured out the issues that they had with the service in set number 1, and they got a handful of aces now here in set 2.
But the Boilermakers able to get back on the board. A quick little toss, able to find the open floor on the Hawkeyes.
That's just ridiculous. Grace Heaney essentially just setting that ball, and it was going to be an overpass, but it somehow snuck its way through and found the floor.
Yeah, Grace Heaney, even when it looks like she might mess up, she still cannot do any wrong. She's been great for the Boilermakers throughout. And just as we talk it, Grace Heaney, the southpaw swing. Heaney getting another kill in this one.
Yeah, 2 in a row there for Grace Heaney. She's now heating up for the Boilers.
It'll be Van Zandt, tries it for the Hawkeyes. Free ball for the Hawkeyes. The set to Whittingstall, a quick slide, not able to get it. Back to Heaney. Warden keeps it alive. Free ball for the Boilermakers. Grace Heaney finds the open space. Grace Heaney getting rolling in this one. Kill number 4.
We heard the band playing it before in the timeout, but Grace Heaney, like Pitbull, she's on fire here now, 3 in a row for Heaney.
On fire indeed. Grace Heaney, the silent killer for the Boilermakers. Quick slide by Whittingstall. Nice job by the Hawkeyes. We've seen that a little bit now. The quick slide. Whittingstall's found some success now.
Yeah, 5 kills for Whittingstall into that front row, and she's been a nice spark for the Hawkeyes, continuing to lead by 5.
Back to Heaney. Grace Heaney. She is on fire, ladies and gentlemen. Grace Heaney, kill number 5.
Kill number 5 for Heaney. The last 4 have come out of the hands of Heaney. See the numbers there. Just over 3 kills a set for Heaney.
Yeah, just as Stojanovic had kind of gotten going. And we talked about getting going. Kenna Woolard with a service ace. We haven't heard her name much at the net, as it's been Anderson and Heaney with the kills, but Woolard with the ace on this one.
And I don't think Woolard could believe it herself. She's smiling back there, shaking her head, said, I don't know what happened. It just went down.
A little mismatch at the net. Iowa sends it back over. Great dig by McAleer. Back to Heaney. Grace Heaney. Another kill.
5 of the Heaney's 6 kills have come here in this set, but that one can be attributed to the stellar play of Ryan McAleer getting dirty on the floor and picking that one up.
Another serve for Woolard. Iowa back to Warden. Too much for the Boilermakers. Alyssa Warden trying to right the ship for the Hawkeyes. Iowa's, they were up 7. And still has a 3-point lead in the second set.
Yeah, Alyssa Warden starting to heat up on that left side as well. That one was a dot. She put that one on the spot.
And she's got some power in that one, but talk about power. We talk about Hannah Whittingstall, but too much power on this one. Another service error. The first one for the Hawkeyes in set number 2. They had 3 in set number 1. Whittingstall will go back to the bench.
That's a tough breakthrough for Whittingstall and having to sub out as well. You have to think about it for an extra couple of sets or a couple of rounds.
Do indeed. The Hawkeyes get a chance It'll be Van Zant. A lot of power, but McAleer able to get it back for the Boilermakers. Nice job by Cash Anderson. Moiseo tried to get it, not able to get there.
Anderson, so good. Points it out, says, put it on my tab, as the Boilers are within one now.
Yeah, we thought Woolard was our player to watch. He's been great throughout now, but it's been the committee that's been great for the Boilermakers. And just as we're talking about service errors for the Hawkeyes, a service error by McAleer for the Boilermakers. It'll be Jenna Meitzler subbing in for the Hawkeyes. The 6'1" sophomore from Barrington, Illinois.
A collection of a couple of players from the state of Illinois here on this Iowa team.
And point, Iowa.
And Anderson immediately looks over at Dave Shondell and throws up the money sign. I'm guessing that's a trademark, but says, hey, you might want to pull the card out and challenge that one.
Yeah, money sign on that one, but also a tip. And if there's anyone I'm believing, it's Cash Anderson.
Well, hey, partner, you gotta watch it with that there. It's been said a few times that volleyball players are the biggest liars in the world, but we'll see if Anderson was. Ooh, looks like that might be that right hand there. The
looks like that pinky.
Pinky? Yeah.
I think it hits off the pinky on that one. I'm presuming we're talking about anyone we're believing. You talk about Cash Anderson kind of getting on the mic for some of those road trips, kind of showing some of the Purdue heart that they've got.
So yeah, now both Jim Barnes and Dave Shondell both winning each of their individual challenges that they've had. And we saw how it played out for Iowa in set number 1 and what they were able to do, and we'll now see if the Purdue Boilermakers can springboard off of that momentum they just got from the call being reversed.
Yeah, springboarded by that call. We'll see if it happens. They have been springboarded by Heaney in this second set. And it'll be Heaney serving it for the Boilermakers. Some English on that one. Iowa able to take advantage of it. Boilermakers get it back, get it to Cash. Iowa sends it over to Warden. Anderson to Anderson. Iowa able to keep it alive. Great job by the Hawkeyes on that one. Lulich says, let's get it done. Nice job by the Hawkeyes on that one, but Bianca Lulich, too much for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
A lot of things on that play. First, Sharday Van Zant, athleticism and speed, able to keep that ball off the floor. But then the Purdue Boilermakers, too big, too strong, and Lulich with the hammer.
The hammer indeed. The Warden going back up. And it goes off the right hand as the amount of power Warden had on that one sent her down. But point Iowa as Warden picks up another kill.
I was going to say, Alyssa Warden swung so hard she knocked herself over.
What is that, Newton's third law?
I don't know, I'm a comm major.
Fair enough. Blocked by Lulich. It'll be point Purdue. Block party remains on their feet in this one. We talked about kind of the defense of the Hawkeyes, how they've been successful. Third in the Big Ten in terms of blocks, but Boilermakers showing their own 7 blocks now in this contest.
Climbing off of last night's 3-set sweep against the Penn State Nittany Lions, the Boilers had 7.5 blocks last night.
It'll be Van Zant sending it over for the Boilermakers. Lulich! And it looks like it will be point Purdue. So Jim Barnes successful in another one. Probably not happy he had to challenge that one, but nice job by Barnes. Getting another point for Iowa as they find themselves up 1, 14-13 Hawkeyes.
Yeah, Barnes 2 for 2 now when he pulls the card out of his pocket.
It's a pretty good successful conversion rate for that.
Not too bad.
And Sashka Stojanovic with the ace. So Stojanovic had an ace, a couple aces earlier on in this second set, kind of showing the Hawkeyes why they're here.
Well, and we saw this in the last rotation from Stojanovic over there behind the line, and she was very successful previously, now trying to make it 2 for 2 here in set number 2.
It'll be Valres with the swing for the Hawkeyes. Iowa with a couple points strung together now. Alyssa Warden happy about that one, kind of pumping her fist in excitement. Stojanovic with the serve. Boilermakers go to Woolard, and point Purdue as Kenna Woolard now. 4 kills in this one. Haven't seen her much, but she's coming back.
And the look on Carmel Veras' face says it all as Woolard ricochets that one off the block.
Yeah, and we've seen Woolard do this a numerous amount of times, kind of getting the deflection off the defender. She's not afraid to do that. So nice job by the Boilermakers. Woolard now with a little bit different of a look, a little bit of a lighter touch. Now back-to-back kills for Kenna Woolard.
That's just a great pitcher that has a great fastball and the changeup. And you see the ladder here as she taps that one into the block. And again, after the last swing where she swung away, Iowa getting confused, thinking she's going to do the same thing.
Does indeed. Boilermakers able to keep it alive. Van Zandt. Lulich. Goes back, it'll be Boilermakers. Anderson with a quick kill. Thought she might set it, but she says, here you go. Taylor Anderson, great job. The quick attack by Taylor Anderson.
Sneaky is Taylor Anderson, and that is her trademark setter dump. She ties it up at 16 to bring the Boilers.
27, third in the Big Ten. 2 key contributors here on the libero spot for the Hawkeyes and the Boilermakers. Moiseo, the senior from Waukegan, Illinois, and McAleer, the sophomore from Overlap Park, Kansas.
Yeah, I'm going to trademark a new one here. You got the outside hitters score points for you, but liberos win you championships, and we're seeing that here tonight.
We are indeed, and I mean, we talk about Moiseo, but McAleer's had some of the accolades to go along with it. 2-time Big Ten Player of the Week. I'm kind of surprised now that I think about it that Moiseo hasn't kind of gotten anything in terms of accolades on her resume. Considering she is first in the Big Ten in terms of digs. It will be Sienna Foster serving up the service error, but it was Foster kind of keeping the ball alive in that last point for Purdue before that break.
Yeah, the service error ends the Boilermakers 3-0 scoring run. They tied the game up at 16, and now another great opportunity for Iowa to kind of take hold of this matchup and go inside number 2.
Anderson serves it up to Woolard. Van Zandt for the Hawkeyes, quick push. Anderson back to Woolard with the swing, and point Purdue, Kenna Woolard. Kill number 6 as she's starting to find her groove in this one.
Yeah, Woolard goes fastball on this one, tooling it off the top of that Hawkeye block, and that's what you get when you have a Kenna Woolard on the floor. She can swing it, she can hit it hard, she can tap it over, she can almost do it all.
She can indeed doing it all for the Boilermakers this year. But it is Whittingstall with that quick slide that we've seen for the Hawkeyes, kind of going by the antenna. Covers a lot of distance on this one, Craig.
Yeah, Whittingstall, 6 of 11 now, hitting over 400 for the Hawkeyes.
It's Heaney on the right side for the Boilermakers. Iowa keeps it alive. Warden, a double push. And Kenna Woolard, too much for the Hawkeyes. Kenna Woolard showing some of that power. Nothing but straight gas on this one.
Yeah, all gas, no brakes here from Kenna Woolard, but that one was started with a solid play of Grace Heaney keeping the ball off the floor and then setting the table for Woolard to finish.
Yeah, Boilermakers able to find their stride. We're all knotted up at 18. Both teams trying to find the red zone. Mark Ward keeps it alive. McAleer to Heaney. And Dior Charles sends it back over. Dior.
Great job there by Charles, just hanging in there with that one. Carrying off the hands of the Hawkeyes, and Charles finishing it on the floor.
And it'll be the hometown kid, Rachel Williams, subbing back into the grade, replacing Woolard, the serve specialist and native of West Lafayette, Indiana.
And already with a service ace to her tally here this evening as well.
Has indeed. She's showing why she's there for Shondell. And Warden showing why she's there for Barnes. Alyssa Warden with a lot of smoke behind this one.
Yeah, elevates and delivers, does Warden as she splits the Boilermaker defense. And my partner, I can't disagree with you. Warden has a cannon there for a right arm.
He has 6 kills on this match, but we've seen some heavy swings for Warden now. It'll be Cash Anderson for the Boilermakers. Iowa able to block it, send it back to Cash. Now they'll go to Heaney. Hawkeyes go back to Warden. Not able to get it over. It'll be point Purdue as they're the first ones to the red zone.
Has to feel good for the Purdue Boilermakers as well, seeing Lindsey Miller come into the game. Miller has been dealing with some nagging injuries this season, but it has to feel good both for Purdue as well. Miller, oh my goodness, what a serve.
Yeah, what a serve indeed for McAleer right then and there. Just as we're talking about Miller, McAleer able to find the line on this one. But you talked about it, Lindsey Miller kind of struggling through some injuries, got that right knee brace on. Nice to see her in the lineup though for the Boilermakers. Warden, heavy swing, not able to get it over. It'll be point Purdue. And it looks like the Hawkeyes were trying to keep that one alive. Line judge gave a quick call, but nothing said on this one. Head coach Jim Barnes kind of taking a look at the official.
Well, I mean, Jim Barnes is 2 for 2 in challenging plays here this evening.
And didn't think they kept it alive, but nice job by Van Zandt. Looked like it went off the right foot. That's insane. I didn't catch that in real time, Craig.
That may be one of the most ridiculous saves I've ever seen. The hacky sack kick save.
And it looks like Iowa will challenge that kick, but nonetheless, great play by Van Zandt here. Partner, I didn't even realize it in the moment. I mean, Van Zandt just kind of stuck her foot out there, did a nice job doing anything and everything for the Hawkeyes to keep this one alive.
See here, another great look. Oh my
She got
goodness.
it. She got it indeed. Van Zandt is kind of lifting the foot, keeping alive. Iowa doing a nice job. I mean, staying alive with that one. I thought it was point Purdue, and that's my mistake. I really doubted Van Zandt on that one, and I mean, she's awesome in that terms.
The only thing I'm frustrated about now is that the play didn't continue because, I mean, my goodness, the kick save, and now Iowa's going to get the ball.
Yeah, Iowa gets the ball. Jim Barnes wins the challenge. Barnes now, I believe, 3 for 3 now.
Barnes batting 1,000 here tonight.
Batting 1,000 indeed. Jim Barnes kind of doing it all in terms of challenges.
So it's just a reset, though. The Boilers don't get the point, and it's a reset. Purdue still holding serve.
Yeah, it looked like the officials kind of stopped play on that one, so that's why it will go back. Would have been nice to see it kind of continue throughout. Jim Barnes trying to...
Well, and that play kind of harkens to last season here in the NCAA tournament. Allie Hornung had a similar type save where she uppercutted the ball while laying on the floor. I mean, the hacky sack save is becoming some ridiculous play in college volleyball.
Is indeed. Takes a lot of skill, and sometimes you just got to be there. And Warden there for the Hawkeyes. Hawkeyes get to 20 off another swing by Alyssa Warden now. 7 kills, tied for the lead.
You can't keep a good Warden down, and she unloads on that one, tooling it off the Boilermaker block. Another kill to get the Hawkeyes into the red zone at 20 now.
Yeah, Meitzler's back out, the serve specialist for the Hawkeyes. Fuller able to get that one. Heaney with a teardrop over the net. Lindsey Miller, we're seeing her first action in a little bit. And it finds the court. Van Zandt dives. Van Zandt not able to get that one. Right though, nice to see Lindsey Miller kind of in the middle of that one, kind of stuffed the Hawkeyes at the net.
Yeah, Lindsey Miller, a touted transfer coming in for Dave Shondell here this season.
It'll be a service ace for but it is tough when you have Kenna Warren on the opposite side.
I think of it as being as a benefit because you have a defense that comes in keying on your best player and what is Kenna Woolard, one of the most productive player, and they almost forget about Grace Heaney over there. And Grace Heaney, with a smile on her face, says, "I'm going to show you that you're not going to forget my name."
Yeah, and I mean, Heaney and Cash Anderson both hitting over 400 in this one. Nice save by Moiseo for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, that was almost ace number 3.
Was indeed stuff at the net. McAleer sends a free ball for the Hawkeyes. And it is Carmel Varez with the kill. Forrest's kill now number 8 leads the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, and Ryan McAleer left out on an island there. The block didn't get anywhere near, and Vargas saw that, took advantage, and finished.
Vargas did indeed. She had 7 blocks earlier this season versus UNLV, showing some of the offensive prowess. Hawkeyes not able to keep this one alive. It's point Purdue. Holloway's on their feet. Set point for the Boilermakers.
Nice job there, Taylor Anderson winning that joust at the net. Now putting her team in position to go up 2-0 here against the Hawkeyes.
Putting her team in position, and who you want behind the service line, Julia Kane. Hawkeyes go to Van Zandt. McAleer does the splits and keeps it alive. Woolard, right to Moiseo. They go back to Vargas. Vargas stuffed at the net. Point Purdue. Boilermakers win set 2 after winning set number 1. Hawkeye season, kind of seen it now throughout. Boilermakers up 2-0. Some balls not able to go Iowa's way. Iowa able to keep it alive. The free ball back to the Boilermakers. The quick set by Anderson. Iowa goes to Van Zandt. Teardrop. Anderson goes back to Woolard. And will be point Purdue. Kenna Woolard getting the Boilermakers started. A touch violation by the Hawkeyes.
Very different than what we saw in sets 1 and 2 as Iowa came out hot at the beginning of those sets. Purdue trying to do that here in set number 3.
100% trying to not claw back from down, but nonetheless they've been successful in sets 1 and 2. Nice slide by Lindsay Miller. Hawkeyes able to keep it up. Back to Woolard. Diving attempt by Ammeraal. Iowa sends a free ball to the Boilermakers. Anderson to Woolard. And point Purdue as there was a deflection off the Hawkeyes. Another kill for Kenna Woolard. As we take a look at it.
Swing from Woolard there and see it clearly off the hands of the Hawkeye block.
Julia Kane serving for the Boilermakers, and Lindsay Miller going up and killing it for the Boilermakers. Great to see that from Lindsay Miller. Kind of seen some of her first action in a while. Again, talked about the injury, Craig.
Well, yeah, you see the big smile from Miller there. That it hasn't subsided. Has to feel good, as you said, coming off of the injury and then getting the big kill like that right in the front of the net.
Big kill in front of the net, and Boilermakers with 4 quick points. Just as Iowa started sets 1 and 2 off hot, Boilermakers started set 3 off hot. And it'll be timeout, Iowa. Jim Barnes wanting to slow down his legs, chugging along in set number 3. And Holloway on their feet, as it's been a long day for the Purdue faithful. Boilermakers played Ohio State number 1 ranked Ohio State football earlier today at Ross-Ade. Now we're over at Holloway Gymnasium, right next door, as the number 9 ranked Purdue Boilermakers find themselves up 2-0 versus an in-conference rival in the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yeah, I was at that football game earlier this afternoon and watching the number 1 team in the country, the Ohio State Buckeyes, and not trying to make any predictions, but the big game is going to be a little bit different this season because of the team that's going up to Michigan after what I saw this afternoon from the Buckeyes.
Yeah, it is indeed. I mean, Ohio State, we talk about number 1 teams. Boilermakers find themselves number 1 in men's basketball. Saw them last night, but Purdue Boilermakers volleyball team saying, hey, we're still here. Number 9 ranked Boilermakers doing a nice job holding their own against a tough Big Ten opponent in the Hawkeyes. The record might not show it for the Hawkeyes, but they are tough and they've got grit. As Iowa picks up 2 quick points now, cuts the lead to 2.
Number 9 is not too shabby in the country. This is the main event here tonight in town. They can close down the town for this one.
And we've seen a couple number 1s. We saw number 1 Nebraska, the Cornhuskers coming in, and they did beat the Boilermakers a couple weeks ago. But we've seen a lot of action. The Big Ten is the best of the best in terms of sports. McAleer with a dive over there, almost ran into the wall, but kind of made a business decision on that one.
Yeah, had to get out of the way. We saw Grace Heaney diving into the boards last night. McAleer sliding safe. We'll get up, no injury.
And Sashka Stojanovic saw some fire from her with the Hawkeyes. Anderson goes with the quick push, not able to get it over the net, and Hawkeyes with a couple quick points.
Yeah, Anderson with the quick apologies there because the center dump was there. Just, we saw too much sauce earlier, not enough sauce on that one.
100%. Boilermakers go to Woolard. The set up to Van Zandt and down the line. Nice job by Van Zandt on that one. Thought she might go to the middle of the court. Cuts that one. Does a nice job getting it past the Boilermakers.
Yeah, Van Zandt and Amy haven't heard a whole lot here as this one's moved along, but that one was a beautiful shot. Just kissing the floor right over there by the B and D1 court.
Yeah, Van Zandt leads the team in points and kills coming into this one. Now 3 kills in this one. And the Hawkeyes get another quick point, so just as the Boilermakers kind of stormed out of the gate, the Hawkeyes are kind of switching things up from sets 1 and 2, where they were the first to get a couple. Now clawing back and doing a nice job. Again, they're not saying no, no, no. They've seen some of the 5-set matches. We're going to see the Iowa heart all throughout. Lindsey Miller with a quick kill. Lindsey Miller now 2 kills in this one. Great to see number 12 back on the court and smiling.
Yeah, great short set there by Taylor Anderson, and Lindsey Miller knows what to do with it, finishing it just in front of Stojanovic diving in to try to dig it up.
It'll be Sienna Foster now. 5 consecutive matches with an ace. She's got one here today. Hawkeyes send a free ball to the Boilermakers. Anderson goes to Woolard. Iowa able to keep that on the Boilermakers side. Woolard tried to keep it up, not able to.
Carmel Vera's doing a nice job there on that one. Woolard tried to keep it alive, but wasn't able to.
It'll be Mark Ward serving for the Hawkeyes. Gives Kane some trouble, but Woolard able to get it over to Heaney. Free ball for the Hawkeyes. Back to Whittingstall. Nice dive by McAleer. Van Zandt. Anderson to Woolard. Nice dive by Moizio. The save and gets it back over for Charles. Boilermakers keep it alive. Van Zandt. It's still going. Woolard with the quick push. Now Iowa getting scrappy. And point Purdue.
What a heartbreaking way for that long rally to end for the Hawkeyes. Both teams putting it out there on the floor. Into the net is called, and Boilers get the point.
Yeah, Hawkeyes and Boilermakers doing a nice job, kind of everyone on their roster showing their heart on this one. A long rally. A long rally now followed by a quick error by the Boilermakers. Hawkeyes still up 2.
Yeah, and Kendall Willard's had a little bit of trouble with that this season. A couple of into the net violations. We got a little bit too close on that one.
The quick serve and the quick kill by Warden. Warden just jumped up on that one and sent it right back to the Boilermakers.
The ball came off of Warden's hand.
Game we don't talk about enough. She leads Iowa in terms of assists. Leads them in every game this year. She's got 24 assists now. Is the heartbeat of that Iowa Hawkeyes offense. And Iowa on their feet, the first to 10, as the ball from Heaney not able to get over the net.
Yeah, I thought that one snuck its way through as well. A little confusion there from everybody, including ourselves. But Iowa really playing well now here, putting their foot down. We saw they struggled to start the set. They're doing it here in the middle of the set now.
Dior Charles with some authority. Iowa able to keep it alive. And then back to Dior with the block. Warden tries again. Anderson goes to Heaney. Iowa able to keep it alive. Van Zandt finds the open space. Van Zandt going in the middle of the floor.
Yeah, Van Zandt will get credited with the kill, but you can credit this one to the Waukegan, Illinois native and Milana Mozio, as she, an absolute stud, digging the ball up off the floor and keeping it up for her teammates.
Is indeed Van Zandt not able to get this one over the net, but kind of taking a look back at that kill, Craig. Van Zandt was kind of going against 3 Boilermakers defenders, had to kind of pick and choose between the 2. Did a nice job, but quick service error by Van Zandt.
Yeah, and it hasn't become a problem for the Hawkeyes. We saw a little bit of an issue in set number 1, but that would not do well for them trying to come back here in this one if they start throwing up some service errors.
Ball goes in the net for the Boilermakers. Woolard able to send a free ball. And Ammeraal slams it down with authority. The southpaw swing by Ammeraal sends it back over for the Hawkeyes.
And you talked about Ammeraal serving up the kills earlier on. She says, hey, I'm going to take one of these for myself.
And you talk about kills, I mean, Ammeral's the only setter in the Big Ten with triple-digit kills. We know what she can do in terms of setting, but doing a nice job also getting some of the credit on this one. And Cash Anderson getting the credit on this one. Craig, hadn't heard her name now in a couple points.
Well, we are here in the middle of the set, or towards the middle of the set, but you see Cash Anderson, she knew it right away. She said, put it on the board. And she came down on that one, but see if Jim Barnes wants to take a look at it, and Barnes batting 1,000 here tonight, 3 for 3 on challenges, so we'll see if maybe he saw something that we didn't.
Yeah, 3 for 3 now, trying to go 4 for 4 for Barnes. We can't question his ability to challenge these calls. I mean, he's done a nice job, Craig, like you said. I kind of slowed the play here now, and Iowa's kind of finding their rhythm. Again, another kind of pivotal point as we're in the middle of set number 3.
Do you think that the pause in play benefits Purdue or Iowa? Because Iowa's playing really well right now, and why would you want to, kind of, I see why there. Obviously, it looks like it did miss the line, but if you're Jim Barnes, you're slowly kind of have a little bit of an idea. But
it does indeed.
A great boost now for Iowa, up 13-7.
It'll be Milana Moiseo serving it for the Hawkeyes. And too much for Moiseo on that one. Comes over to our crew.
And the Boiler Block Party was really turning up the volume on that one right in front of her. And a tough break now, the second service error of the set for the Hawks.
Second service error, and that one goes off the right foot of the line judge, coming off of McAleer. So service errors for the Hawkeyes, now service error for the Boilermakers.
That both teams even up now is 6 apiece. McAleer's had a couple here tonight. I know she had the service ace as well, but it's the risk reward when you serve like that.
Is indeed. Meitzler's serve hits off the net. Boilermakers able to keep it up. Cash Anderson slamming with authority. Hawkeyes able to keep it up. And Hawkeyes able to get the point as Warden went up, able to get the deflection off the Boilermakers defender.
Yeah, first 15 is Iowa, and Warden, again, we talked about his strength all night long, ricocheting that one off the block of Grace Heaney.
Meitzler's serve not able to get over the net. Point Purdue. Boilermakers trying to string a couple points together now and crawl back in this one. It'll be the left-hand swing of Grace Heaney serving this one up.
And those are the errors that you can't have for the Iowa Hawkeyes, pulling the momentum away from the home team just to throw it back to them.
Well, when we talk about errors, I mean, Boilermakers and Hawkeyes kind of trading errors now as Heaney's service also comes up short. So both teams kind of needing a reset. It'll be Warden seeing if she can kind of break the string of things. Her serve does get over the net. Boilermakers go to Cash. Hawkeyes to Van Zandt. McAleer dives, but too much. Sharday Van Zandt now. 6 kills.
And Van Zandt was able to finish, but again, one more time.
So Iowa finds themselves up 8 in the middle of set number 3. Alyssa Warden sends a teardrop over the net. Lindsay Miller, too much for the Hawkeyes. Miller now 3 kills.
Great response out of the timeout for the Purdue Boilermakers, and Lindsay Miller, the deliverer of that one, sending that one up into the stands.
Some of that power that the Purdue offense has missed from Miller. She was out for a couple weeks. I thought Heaney might have gotten a hand under that one, not able to. Hawkeyes too much for the Boilermakers. Still find themselves going ahead 7 points from 25 and winning set number 3.
Now it's Stojanovic back to serving. The Hawkeyes saw success when Stojanovic was serving in set number 2.
They did indeed. Miller back to it, splits the gap. Lindsay Miller, 4 kills now.
And if Purdue can get Lindsay Miller going like that in a healthy Lindsay Miller, it is hard to stop that swing on the slide, and Miller delivers and finishes that one.
Foster with the service error now, 8 for the Boilermakers, kind of shooting themselves in the foot now. Can't have this happen if the Boilermakers want to claw back from this deficit in set number 3.
Yeah, they had 4 coming into this set. Now with 3 here in set number 3. That's not what Dave Shondell was looking for from his servers.
Iowa sends it over. Heaney goes to it. Back to Van Zandt. Iowa keeps it alive. Van Zandt tries a second time and able to deliver. Sharday Van Zandt gets the Hawkeyes to the red zone.
Yeah, don't give Van Zandt more than one look. She will be able to finish. Stuffed on the first one, but puts it on the floor there on the second.
Yeah, Van Zandt a little over 3 kills per set in this one, or coming into this season. But Woolard on the other side for the Boilermakers, kind of coming back alive. Kill number 11, hadn't heard her name.
Yeah, partner, as you said, Woolard with 11 kills tonight. Boilers had 3 swingers in double-digit kills last night, only 1 tonight, and that one being Kenneth Woolard.
Iowa with another point. Purdue going to have to get them off the rails if they're going to want to win this one. Iowa kind of breaking away, inching closer and closer to that 25-point mark. It'll be Van Zandt serving it for the Hawkeyes. Anderson to Woolard. And point Purdue as Woolard able to get that one a tip off the Hawkeyes defender.
Yeah, and Kenneth Woolard is so skilled when tooling the ball off the block. You see it here. She sees the block elevate and just taps the ball off of Ammeral's hands.
Yeah, instead of just too much power, she has the finesse on this one, does a nice job. Warden with a heavy swing on that one, gets the deflection off the Boilermakers. Alyssa Warden now double-digit kills for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, Warden goes high hands off the Boiler block here. A nice job. Looked like that one sailed long, but Ammeral, Warden knew what's up, excuse me.
Van Zandt down the middle, stuffed by Dior Charles. Dior Charles says, no, no, no.
Is it fair to say that that was a designer block?
I think it could, and we're talking about Dior. That's all we can talk about with designer. Teardrop from McAleer. Back to Warden. McAleer keeps it alive, slipped and fell, but alive for the Boilermakers. But the quick kill straight into my hands by Warden. Nice job for Alyssa Warden. And partner, I think pretty quick reflexes for myself.
1 for 2 now, boss.
Yeah, 1 for 2. Not quite as good as Jim Barnes with his challenges, but Warden slams it over to our booth. Hawkeyes find themselves 2 points away.
Come on, the camera crew couldn't follow the ball over to your hands. Come on, man.
And I know what happens. Sometimes can't always take the credit. It'll be Warden with another heavy swing. Alyssa Warden now heating up for the Hawkeyes. Kill number 12.
And what you have to wonder now, a 10-point advantage for Iowa, you have to wonder if they can carry that momentum into set number 4. I mean, we could be looking at another 5-set thriller here tonight as Iowa was a part of one last night in Indiana.
Yeah, Iowa was indeed. Lost a heartbreaker against a good Hoosiers team. Again, Iowa, if they get a couple balls to swing their way, this is what they're made of. The biggest gap now that we've seen, too. Iowa lost set number 1 by 4, set number 2 by 3. But Boilermakers say no, no, no. The combo of Cash Anderson and Lindsey Miller says block, and the block party is on their feet.
Nice job there, Miller and Anderson convening to stuff that one back into the lap of the Hawkeyes. And now a great opportunity for Rachel Williams to come in here and get another service ace. She's already has 1 to her tally here tonight.
Williams looking for number 2. Morzio keeps it alive for the Hawkeyes. It will be point Purdue. Purdue stringing it together a couple of points now. And they've got who they want behind the line in terms of Rachel Williams.
Yeah, that one was just an errant swing there by Stojanovic. Now we've been used to seeing from her here this evening. But Iowa still with a 7-point pad.
Williams sends it to the Hawkeyes and does go out of bounds. Iowa wins set number 3, 25-17. Hawkeyes not done yet.
Dakota, Nebraska, and Wisconsin still on the slate.
Alyssa Warden gets things started, but goes off the antenna. Point Purdue.
Warden tried to go sneaky down the line on his serve and just hitting that candy cane over there down the left side of the net.
Sienna Foster with the first serve for the Boilermakers in set number 4. Hawkeyes go to Varez. Heaney for the Boilermakers. Some confusion for the Boilermakers, sends a free ball to the Hawkeyes, but nonetheless does fall. Confusion on both sides. Both teams kind of looking around at each other. Who's got it?
It's the Spider-Man meme. Purdue was confused, and that confused Iowa, and then, well, that's what happens.
Wazio digs it out for the Hawkeyes. Blocked by the Boilermakers. Hawkeyes go to Van Zant. Back to Cash, teardrop. Van Zant, too much. Sharday Van Zant knew it right as she hit it. Too much power on that one. Too much sauce. As we can see the sign from the block party. That one heads out of bounds.
Yeah, that one was a little bit too long, but previous to that, Lindsay Miller, how do you do with 2 huge saves keeping the ball off the floor for the Boilers?
Warden keeps that one alive, though. Hawkeyes remain alive, but Heaney. Grace Heaney finding the open space. Kill number 7. Boilermakers 4-0 run to start set number 4.
A massive momentum swing as Iowa seemingly took the momentum away from the Boilermakers, but Purdue has come out swinging 4-0 here in set number 4. We'll be back here on Big Ten.
Lafayette native. Hawkeyes go to Varez. Boilermakers with Cash. Ammeraal with the quick set back over. Cash Anderson with the swing. Moiseo keeps it alive. They push it over to Van Zant. Heaney off Moiseo. Van Zant goes back to it. Another long rally between these two foes. And it ends with a Cash Anderson kill. Takes it to the bank.
Anderson standing tall here. 9 kills now for Anderson as she finishes that one off. And the Boilers up 5 now and pushing the lead. A 5-0 run to start set number 4.
Yeah, whatever head coach Dave Shondell said in the break, it got them fired up. But they also started off last set hot. Weren't able to get things done. Varez with a tough swing, and you could just see how hard that one is, how far it bounced off Taylor Anderson. Varez showing the power, getting the Hawkeyes on the board.
Yeah, monster swing, and that one caroms off the other side of the floor and comes back out of play on your side of the floor. Good start for Iowa. They're getting their first point in the set.
Varez 6'3", but a freshman nonetheless. She's been a key component for the Hawkeyes here tonight. But Lindsay Miller, she's back in action, ladies and gentlemen. Lindsay Miller going up in the middle of that one.
And that has to feel good not only for Lindsay Miller, but Dave Shondell as well. And Miller, again, spent some time on the injury list the last couple of weeks, but man, she has come out here with a vengeance here at set number 4.
A service error by Woolard. Gives the ball back to the Hawkeyes.
That's a good serve, though, a risk reward. It wasn't way out of play. It was a good shot down the line, and Woolard just missed.
Did indeed, and Mark Ward trying to get a little Iowa run strung throughout. She does a nice job with a service ace. Mark Ward now, her second service ace of this one. She led the team in terms of aces, 24 coming in today's match.
Iowa has 8 service aces here as a team.
Lindsay Miller with the slide, hard off Moiseo. Anderson goes to Cash. Boilers keep it alive, free ball for the Hawkeyes. Goes to Van Zandt, a little bit out of sorts. A tough set. Van Zandt, a little bit of confusion. Hits that one off the top of the net. Point Purdue.
I know the Boilers got the point, but Moiseo, man, she is playing hard out here this evening. You have to ice down those forearms after the game for some of these balls she's been digging up.
Has indeed, and 17 digs now, but doesn't necessarily quite show up in the stat sheet how far she's gotten to some of these digs. Miller, how far she's come along now, coming back from injury. Miller blocks this one for the Boilermakers.
3 blocks now for Lindsay Miller. The Boilermakers have 11 in the game. The Boiler Black has been engaged here tonight.
Ammeraal with a quick swing, comes back to Van Zandt. Ammeraal goes to Whittingstall and does go out of bounds. Hannah Whittingstall, hadn't heard her name in much, but does send this one out.
Out of play, but rewind a couple of seconds before that. Lindsay Miller, again at the net, a huge block, keeping the ball off the floor.
Van Zandt goes back to it, hits off the Boilermakers and goes out of bounds. Sharday Van Zandt is going to have to keep the Hawkeyes chugging along. They find themselves down 5. Kill number 6.
And Van Zandt also putting it into the Purdue Boilermaker 3-0 run, but then handing the ball right back to him there on another service error for Iowa.
Yeah, another service error. Van Zandt's gone too long a couple times now here in set number 4. Just too much adrenaline. 11 service errors now for the Hawkeyes. Boilermakers have 10.
And with the play of Lindsay Miller and the errors starting to add up for Iowa, you can't make those kind of mistakes here late in the game like this.
Great save by McAleer. Able to get up hand under that one. Ammeraal goes with a quick kill. Goes out of bounds. Point Purdue, but what a save by Ryan McAleer, sticking her hand out and pancaking that one up in the air.
Yeah, partner, I was just going to say that. Ryan McAleer says pancakes for everyone. The Boilers were able to get the point and extend the lead to 7.
McAleer sends it in a serve. Comes back to the Hawkeyes. Ammeraal goes to Warden. Warden goes out of bounds. Tried to go down the line, not able to do so. Too much. Boilermakers up 12-4, and it'll be timeout by Jim Barnes.
But Iowa would be in this ballgame, and we're talking about a different game if Iowa was able to cut down on those errors.
Yeah, we're talking about a different game, and also I think the Boilermakers block has shown up a lot more, I guess necessarily than we thought, considering that Iowa was 3rd in the Big Ten in terms of blocks. The Boilermakers have kind of outshined them in terms of that category and that statistic, and that's why that hitting percentage has been so low for the Hawkeyes. You talked about it, Craig, 147. You're not going to win many ball games if you're hitting that percentage. Nonetheless, Hawkeyes able to hang around.
Well, you talk about that block differential, and we talked about Lindsay Miller tonight and what she's done killing the ball, but Lindsay Miller has 3 blocks coming off of reserve here tonight, and that's really been the difference.
Yeah, coming off reserve and coming off in limited action now. Hawkeyes get a quick point out of the break. But yeah, Miller hasn't seen much playing time tonight, but when she has, she's been efficient. She's been successful for the Boilermakers. If you're Dave Shondell, you love to see that as postseason play will get started here in a couple weeks. Woolard goes up to the net, stuffed at the net. Stojanovic gives Woolard a look as Sashka Stojanovic, second on the team in terms of blocks coming in this one, stuffs Woolard at the net.
Well, we'll see how it plays out here, but this is what we saw in set 3. This is how Iowa was able to make their run, and they were able to put the foot on the gas and not allow Purdue to come back. Iowa's making a little bit of a run here. You see the kill there from Miller. We'll see if the Boilers can do the same thing and finish off here in set 4.
Yeah, Boilermakers definitely want to. Again, Hawkeyes had some foes in 5-set matches. Nonetheless, if you're the Boilermakers, you don't want to get there. Get the Purdue faithful out of here early. But they're not able to on this one as Ammeraal with a quick push finds the open space on the Boilermakers side.
A great play there by Ammeraal, just a little sneaky dump right in the lap of Kenna Woolard. Woolard didn't have an answer.
Meitzler back out on the court for the Hawkeyes. The serve specialist not on this one. Another service error for the Hawkeyes. 12 now.
And that puts a kibosh on that little bit of a run Iowa was making, and now you give the ball back to Purdue, a 7-point cushion for Purdue, and they look to finish things off here.
Woolard with some English on that serve. Iowa able to get it Anderson sends it over for the Boilermakers. Warden goes off the antenna and a missed swing by Warden. Didn't see that much throughout, but seen a little bit now throughout as Warden has a lot of power, just a little bit of a miss hit.
And those are the swings that if you're Iowa, you'd like to have back. They are starting to pile up here.
Swings you'd like to have back. But a service error for the Boilermakers on this one will put the ball in the hands of Alyssa Warden again behind the service line. Heaney goes up to it. Nice dig by Moiseo. Back to Van Zandt. Cash Anderson blocked by the Hawkeyes. Boilermakers keep it alive. Lulich tried to send it back over. Goes out of bounds.
And Lulich just rushed the swing there, not knowing where she was on the floor and having that floor presence. Again, a swing that you'd like to have back if you're Bianca Lulich, but not going to bury the Boilers here in this one.
Lulich goes back to it. Iowa able to keep the ball alive. And a costly set by the Hawkeyes. That set went out of bounds. Point Purdue.
That's definitely a new one. We haven't seen that one. The set overpass.
Set over the net, too. I mean, kind of out of bounds. Just a little bit of a faulty set for them. A little bit of confusion. Van Zandt kind of hits it off her hands, keeps it up alive. Boilermakers send it to Heaney. Heaney! Grace finds the open space. Grace Heaney, kill number 8. Hadn't heard her name much throughout, but coming alive, Grace Heaney.
You see the smile back on Heaney's face. I saw the smile go away for a little bit here, but that kill there brings it right back, and the Boilers are feeling it here in set number 4.
A quick left-hand push. Stojanovic sends it back over for the Hawkeyes, and she'll be the one serving. Seen that a couple times now throughout. Nothing of a swing, but just a quick push. Kind of splits the Purdue defense. Doing a nice job, kind of that presence of the floor for number 24. Anderson to Anderson. Blocked by the Hawkeyes. Boilermakers not able to keep it alive. Hawkeyes remaining in this one find themselves down 17-11, but not going down without a fight.
No, and the last time that the Hawkeyes were on this side of the floor, Stojanovic ran off about 4 or 5 in a row. Now back behind the service line, we'll see if she can inch the Hawkeyes closer to the Boilers here.
Cash Anderson with an awkward hit. Hawkeyes go to Varez. Back to Anderson. Hits off Varez. And point Purdue.
And Cash Anderson now in double-digit kills for the second night in a row. He's really starting to become a force for Dave Shondel's Purdue Boilermaker Club.
Yes, spotlight's been on Woolard, but Anderson and Heaney been a nice compliment as they have been so much throughout the season. Whittingstall off the Boilermakers. McAleer tried to keep it alive, but Hannah Whittingstall doing a nice job swinging this one.
Well, we've talked about this. We talked about it all night long. We talked about how Kenna Woolard and Grace Heaney, but then you go Taylor Anderson, Akasha Anderson, Lindsay Miller, Dior Charles. I mean, you just go down the list, and there is a talented group of players here in West Lafayette. A special season that Dave Shondel and his club are putting together.
Yeah, special season indeed, and a special team, and a new look team. Craig, you talked about a little bit earlier on. 85%. They had to replace that percentage of their offense from last year. Very talented team from last year showing. But Boilermakers coming to this one 20-3. Had a lot of success. And it has been because of all the compliments to Woolard and their offensive attack. And they'll get one back as they find themselves up 19-13.
And a point away from being in the red zone first again here in this matchup. We saw what the Boilermakers did in sets 1 and 2 when they hit the red zone first. And now trying to finish off the Hawkeyes in 4, excuse me.
And too much from Stepanidis. Hadn't really heard her name much. She'll go back to the bench. Unfortunately, Stepanidis coming into this one trying to Head coach Jim Barnes trying to see if he can get a change of pace for them. I like the idea just too much for this one. We've seen that with a couple swings for Iowa. Just too much power.
Well, Coach Barnes is just trying to do anything he can here late here in this set, just trying to spark anything. But the efficiency from the Hawkeyes is continuing to dip here as the Boilers now smell it 4 away here. But Iowa really struggling to hit the ball here in set 4.
And struggling indeed. Looks like there might be a challenge of a tip by Barnes. 4 for 4 so far throughout. Had a couple points now without a challenge. Barnes going back to it. Looked like the Hawkeyes were confused on that one. Thought they saw a tip. Again, I don't doubt Barnes on this one.
Well, you can't because the numbers don't lie. And Barnes is 4 for 4 tonight when pulling the challenge card out. And this would be a huge one because it puts it 20-14 then. And it gives Iowa a small little chance. But again, Boilers only down by 4 right, or 4 away from sealing this victory up here tonight.
Yeah, Hawkeyes have to make up 12 points. I don't want to say it would be a huge one, but it's one less for Purdue. Nonetheless, Jim Barnes 4 for 4 with challenges. Seeing if he can get a tip off this one.
I don't see anything.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it hits off Miller.
Possibly right there. What a great shot by our camera crew. The middle finger of Lindsey Miller.
Does look like it might bend back just a little bit. We've seen some long challenges throughout. The officials want to get this one right. Nonetheless, gives the Hawkeyes a good reset. And it will be...
Jim Barnes will lose his first challenge of the night. It was confirmed. No touch, out of play. So point Purdue. Another great look there.
Yeah, Barnes finds his first error now. 4 for 5. Craig, that's still pretty good if you're a head coach in terms of challenges.
I'll take 750.
That'll play. Julia Kane with the teardrop serve. Whittingstall goes up to it. Nice slide by Whittingstall. So just as Iowa had lost a challenge, they get a quick point now. Still down 7. Van Zandt will be behind the line for the Hawkeyes.
And Iowa can have no slip up here. It has to be perfect.
Miller with the slide. Morzio sends it up. Warden. Boilermakers go to Woolard. Woolard hits it a little shallow into the net. Hawkeyes still alive.
It's like a wide receiver going across the middle and hearing footsteps. Woolard saw the Iowa block converging and just took her eye off the ball for just a split second.
Did indeed. Van Zandt goes back to it. Heaney down the middle. Morzio sends it up. Whittingstall with the slide. And the quick. What a save by McAleer. Woolard sends it back. Now Morzio wanting some of her own. Warden keeps it up. Kane's diving. Woolard sends it in. The kill by Kenna Woolard.
Julia Kane and Ryan McAleer is so skilled in that back row, keeping the ball off the floor and allowing the Boilers to finish and get the point.
Yeah, Woolard finished with the kill, but it was McAleer and Kane that allowed that to happen. It'll be McAleer that sends it up. Ammeraal with the quick kill, not able to get it, and it hits off the Hawkeyes. Point Purdue. Purdue 2 points away from set 4 victory and a match victory.
11th dig of the matchup for Julia Kane, one of the most improved players from year to year, last year to this year for Dave Shondel's Purdue Boilermakers, and Kane keeping the ball off the floor, giving her team a chance.
Hawkeyes gonna have to play flawless. Not able to do so as the swing from Iowa sends it out of bounds. It is match point for Purdue. Holloway's on their feet. McAleer serves it for the Boilermakers. Ammeraal goes to Warden. Warden with the quick kill.
Warden angry with that swing, telling her team, come on, let's go.
Warden, kill number 13 now, leads the Hawkeyes. Might be too little, too late. Hawkeyes have to climb back. 8 down. Kane sends it over. Set to Woolard. Stuffed at the net. Woolard able to keep it alive. Back to Woolard. Off the candy cane. Ammeraal with the quick Quick kill and a quick point for the Hawkeyes. Hawkeyes still have life.
Are these sets just mirroring each other? Because this is what we saw in set number 3. Almost the same exact score, just the other way around. And Iowa trying to hang in here.
A little deja vu for both teams. Ammeraal with a quick. Ammeraal just going back to it. That might be the successor for the Hawkeyes. She's found some success here recently, just going up and sending it right back. Nonetheless, Holloway still on their feet. Hawkeyes gonna have to be flawless if they're gonna want to get out of this hole. Kane sends it up. The slide by Lulich finds the floor. Bianca Lulich